Is this good?
Yeah, this is fine.
We have our black shirts
Right.
all set.
I actually thought about that because I knew you'd be wearing black.
Well, we
It's
both
like,
have
well,
the
maybe-
V and we both have the
Right.
black shirt going on, so I
Right.
think this is going to be a good partnership. So Noah and I put together a PDF for you to work on audition prep. It's called the Audition Cheat Sheet. It's the new renovated Audition Cheat Sheet where we both go through and give our best tips for you to prepare for auditions this coming winter. And you could download that at bulletproofmusician.com/audition cheat sheet. Noah, thank you so much for being here. You are the Bulletproof Musician. Awesome to have you in the Audition Hacker Studios. When I was learning music for auditions, high school, college, even after college, I really didn't know what mental practice meant. I knew you were supposed to do it. I kind of thought it meant like when you're on an airplane and you're not in front of your instrument, then you should meditate or something like that. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what mental practice meant. And yet I had all these symptoms of nerves. I had shaking and I would get sweaty and I'd have to go to the bathroom too much right in the middle of the audition. So I'm wondering if you could help me understand what mental practice is and give some tips to me and then these fine people watching about how they can mentally practice for their auditions.
I actually like to think of mental practice and mental rehearsal being two different things. Mental practice being more like going to the practice room and actually practicing, and mental rehearsal being more like doing a run-through or a dress rehearsal where you're really trying to get in the flow of what a performance is going to be like and build confidence in advance of the performance. Mental practice-wise, it's actually not very different than what you do in the practice room. And the reason why it can be so valuable is when we're practicing or just running through things or playing things over and over in the practice room, you're kind of going off of muscle memory and your muscles just go where they need to, your fingers do what they need to, and there's not a lot of thinking that's involved at that point, which is a good thing. But when it comes to mental practice and you sit there without the instrument, whether you're sitting in a chair or you're on the subway or driving a car, you actually have to think harder to recreate all the little technical details, all the little nuances, and maybe most importantly, conceptually what it is you want every note to sound like and how you want the phrases to go. And a lot of times there's a tendency to just kind of let that happen on autopilot. And so when you engage in mental practice and you do one repetition and another repetition and you try to get it to sound in your head exactly like you want, even away from the instrument, it can go a long way towards not just clarifying what it is that you want to do on stage, but giving yourself additional practice repetitions at making that happen.
So is mental practice to you without the instrument before you get to the instrument? Are you sitting there with a metronome looking at the music and just thinking through how you want it to sound?
You certainly can. I mean, it can be something that you do before you've even really practiced the piece. A lot of my mental practice happened in the car. My parents would be driving the lessons, and sometimes my commutes were 6-7 hours one way. So I didn't have much else to do in the car because this is before we had CDs and all this cool stuff. And we had cassette tapes, but still that after a while it got boring. And so even if I was listening to music in the car, I'd be thinking through different fingerings or remembering how the shift was supposed to feel. I'd be basically cramming in my head as I was driving to the lesson to hopefully make that lesson go as well as it could. To answer your question, yeah, it's both before you even really start getting into learning the notes and practicing, but for me it was mostly once I started learning the notes and getting into the muscle learning part of it, trying to enhance that process and supplement that process by also making sure I just didn't let my fingers go where they wanted to.
So it's kind of like in the practice room, you notice some things that help, but without a specific time of the day where you're thinking through that list of things, you're not actually going to ingrain them.
Yeah, some of it's reinforcing things that you started figuring out in the practice room, and other parts of it could even be figuring things out that you're then going to try in the practice room. I remember, walking to the practice room building in college, and it wasn't a very long walk, it was probably 10 minutes, but as I was walking, I'd be thinking about fingerings that I'd figured out while waiting for class that I wanted to try, maybe different bowings, or sometimes there'd be a problem, I can't figure out why this keeps happening, and as I'm walking, I start thinking about it, like, oh, maybe that's why this keeps happening, I should try this. But it does not only save time, but kind of enhance the learning process in a different way.
So if I'm learning music and I have an audition coming up, and I'm looking at the practice room door, it's right there, the instrument's inside, but I say to myself, maybe I should practice mentally instead. Maybe I should look over my music and think about how I want it to go. When is the right time to do mental practice versus physical, in-person instrument practice?
I think this is up to the person. It depends on what your schedule's like and how much time you have and where you're going to fit in what sort of practice. I usually did mental practice when I couldn't practice, even if it ended up being every day. There's plenty of times that you can't practice, like waiting for theory class to start or sitting on the train. Even if you wanted to, obviously you can't. So those were times where I just use it to to do some mental practice. But even inside the room, let's say that you are coming back from an injury, or maybe you play a brass instrument or you're a vocalist and can't afford to just sing and play hour after hour after hour after hour unproductively. If that's the case, there are some exercises, I'll show you one called 21s, that integrates both mental practice and physical practice in the same moment. So for instance, what you could do is you could first do a physical repetition of a particularly challenging phrase or run or section, and then after that physical repetition, then you do 7 internal mental repetitions, where maybe you slow it down, or you do some rhythms in your head, or you just try to figure out why this one note stuck out in a way that it shouldn't. And after 7 mental repetitions where you try to fix that particular issue, then you do another physical repetition, and then another 7 mental repetitions, and then another physical repetition, 7 more mental repetitions, and 1 last physical repetition. So you do 4 physical repetitions sandwiched around 3 sets of 7 mental repetitions, which then gives you 21 mental repetitions.
Okay, I'll have to do the math on that later, but it makes sense to me. Right. You guys should try that at home. That sounds like something that could definitely help you as you're preparing your music for upcoming auditions. Noah and I both teach about audition prep online, and we are joining forces this year to teach a collaborative audition preparation boot camp called Rob and Noah's Winter Boot Camp. We put together this timeline for your audition prep, the day you get the list to the day of the audition, where we go through and we actually list out a bunch of our most important tips to work on audition music along that timeline. If you're interested in checking out that timeline, you can get it right now at bulletproofmusician.com/audition cheat sheet. If you're interested in the boot camp, we would love to have you and work with you. Sign-ups start near the end of October, so make sure you're on one of our email lists and you'll get information about that boot camp later. Thank you, Noah.